quite a bit of talking and speaking in Barbuda about persons who are in fact in the Essential Services Division refusing or willing to work on a public holiday. That is an absolutely disgraceful situation. The Essential Services Act was passed specifically to identify certain classes of persons as being essential. What am I referring to? In that particular act, it speaks about people in water services, electricity, hospital, fire, prison, air traffic control, government printery, support, telecommunications, and LEAC. How then can somebody indicate and say that they are members of this specific class and they refuse to work? The very word itself, Garfield, essential means absolutely necessary or extremely important. You tell me, Garfield, if a nurse is scheduled to work at the hospital on a public holiday, can she refuse to work? If there's a fire, can the police indicate that because it's a public holiday, they will not be going to out that fire? I want all persons who are members of the Essential Services Department to understand they have a legal duty and obligation to go out to work.
This is Antigua Newsroom.
On Section 6 of that Act, it states quite carefully that if somebody who is an essential worker withholds his employment and he knows or has cause to believe that his act would deprive the public of some essential service, he can be charged, and if so charged, can be fined up to $5,000 or 3 months in jail or both. Additionally, persons who encourage essential workers to stay from work, they can also be fined and charged $8,000 or 3 months or both. This is a very important matter, and I want persons to understand. You, Garfield, you, Sharby, you are working at ABS radio station. Are you telling me you can tell your employers that because tomorrow is public holiday, you're not going to work when you are scheduled to work? Absolute nonsense. So I want all essential workers in this country to understand that once you are rostered to work, if in fact there is no lawful impediment why you cannot work, you are duty-bound to go to work. That is the law as provided in the Essential Services Act passed and gazetted on the 4th of December 2008.
That. So in this case, what would be your advice to workers in the essential services who are scheduled to work on public holidays?
Clearly, my dear Charmaine, there's no choice.
This is Antigua Newsroom.
You have to go to work, except there is some extraordinary circumstance, illness perhaps, or some sort of emergency perhaps. But it must be a lawful excuse, justifiable, and not what made out of convenience. I want the people of this nation to understand that we are a responsible country, a developing small island, and each worker must pull his or her weight.
This is Antigua Newsroom.
Nonsense about not working on a public holiday must stop. You are an essential worker. You provide an essential service. And let me tell you what some of those are once again. People working in the water services, others in electricity, the hospital, the prison, the fire, air traffic, government printery, the port, telecommunications, which includes you, Charmaine, and others. You have a lawful duty to work. And I'm going to encourage the employers, where they are satisfied that workers malinger or stay off of the job on purpose for some reason that is not legally justifiable, make the appropriate report, and actions must be taken about those workers. It is an absolute disgraceful situation, and it ought not, will not, and must not be tolerated.
All right, Attorney General and Labour Minister Honourable Stedora Benjamin, you've been absolutely clear, pellucidly clear on this issue. Thank you so much for